Okay, I'd like to hear, like, how could you say something is objectively good without a biblical
I don't believe in
context?
objective morals, but the uh, excuse me, even if objective morals exist, they obviously don't come from the Bible.
Okay, so since you said you don't believe in objective morals, right? Meaning your morality doesn't necessarily have to be the right one, right? Meaning there is no right or wrong for it, right?
Uh, that's basically true, but what you can say is that there are, like, if somebody tries to build a moral system and it's literally a contradiction, or it's predicated on things that are just known to be false, then I would say you are within your right to say that like meta ethical framework is invalid.
That makes sense. And what do you mean by things that are known to be right? What does that mean?
Sure, for example, like if you have a moral system that says people with like that pushes eugenics, well, we just know scientifically that eugenics uh, is basically completely false. So it's not, it's literally not normatively, ethically, or morally true that uh, you should do eugenics.
What do you mean by eugenics? I'm sorry, I haven't heard of that before.
That's like the idea where like they would prevent certain people from breeding if they had
Oh, okay.
like mental disorders or some sort of psychosis or whatever, or if they were alcoholics, that kind of thing.
Okay. So, okay, that sounds good. So, just to clarify, if I were to give you a scenario where I told you killing someone who is completely innocent is wrong, you would say I mean, you might agree, but you wouldn't agree that that's objectively wrong to do that, right?
Well, sorry to clear my throat. So if we can say that murder by definition is wrong, then I can absolutely say that it's I would say it's like analytically true. And to me, I don't really see necessarily a problem with saying that that's objectively wrong.
But what I'm trying to say is, without a biblical context, you can't say that it's objectively wrong because someone else could just as easily, with the same logical process of thinking, say that murdering someone who is innocent, meaning has done nothing wrong, is totally fine.
That happens millions of times in the Bible is the problem. So you can't use the Bible to do that.
No, no, no. Let's not use the Bible for now. Let's not.
But that's
Okay,
your
sure.
argument. Your
I did
argument
mention
is
it.
that
Yeah. No,
outside
but
the Bible, these kinds of claims can't be made. But your
let's
Bible
let's
literally,
generalize it then. Let's generalize it that there has to be some sort of fundamental basis, right? Would you agree on that? Maybe not the Bible, but there has to be something, right? Otherwise,
no.
then how could you
I don't
possibly?
think that moral facts exist. So
So you're telling me that it's okay for someone to say that it's right to
I
kill
don't
someone who's
think
innocent?
I don't think that that's correct at all.
No, you would have to say that that's their opinion, meaning that you can't
Yes,
say
that is
that,
their opinion. I don't have to endorse other people's opinions.
but you can't
Moral
say that it's
moral
wrong either.
relativism is not I believe that all moral propositions are equally valid and valuable. It's the recognition that different people have different starting points, cultural norms and mores, whatever, that dictate what they think is good, right, practical,
So if we
etc.
were in a society, let's say in Nazi Germany, let's say if they had won whatever, let's hypothetical, and the society thinks it's okay to kill a certain type of race or a certain category of people, since society says so, and uh, it's the norm. You would say that they're valid for saying that. You would say that's valid, not that it's correct,
I
but it's
never
valid. You would say.
That's kind of the opposite of what I said. Um I said being a moral relativist doesn't mean I have to accept that what they think is valid or whatever. They have their reasons. There's no I don't know how to put it. um what was
So
I
so
going to
you
say?
can't
I don't
you
know
can't
exactly how to put it. I recognize, I understand, and it's kind of unfortunate that people can be convinced that their moral framework is the proper one. But what's the logical argument that yours is correct and theirs is incorrect?
Yeah, and you would have to agree that without a base, which whatever it is, we haven't come to that yet. Without having a base, you would have to say that they're equally as right as you are for saying that it's wrong. They're equally as right for saying that it is correct to do
No,
such a an act.
no, literally no.
Okay,
I mean,
maybe I
if you
missed
don't,
it. I'll listen to
well,
you.
the way you're putting this is very weird. If you're saying without a base, that's just
So
saying if nothing is true, then nobody can agree what is true. That's the case. But I do have bases for which I believe there is such thing as a good action or a bad action, right? So causing harm would be one of them. An ideology that is predicated on things that are literally false, which the
yeah,
doctrines
what I'm asking is
of that.
why is that right?
Why is what right? Causing harm?
Like not causing harm. So you said like you just said that it's wrong to cause harm for no reason or whatever.
Yeah, by
I'm asking why is
definition.
that right?
That's how it's
Meaning
defined.
that if someone else defines another way, then it
Nope.
would be valid as well.
No. Well, I don't know what you mean by that exactly. Nobody defines harm, causing harm, as something that is by definition good. Now, there's weird harm's probably not a great term. A better term would maybe be like murder or something like that, because
There are a lot of
going to the
people
gym
who are
sometimes
psychopaths that would
causes
consider it to
muscle
be okay.
aches, but it's overall good for your well-being. So that harm is a little bit of a too nebulous of a term almost, but I think we all kind of get where the logic is coming from here.
Yeah, like I don't understand how you're able to say that that person's logic is not valid. If they say the harm is good, it's good to harm anyone. How could you say it's not valid?
There's a 0% chance that anybody thinks that. That is literally antithetical to human nature. Nobody in the world thinks
how have
it
you
is good for other people to harm me. If they think it's good for me to harm other people, then what I can say to them or ask them is, give me the logical reason, or tell me why it is in evidence that it's okay or that it's not okay for anybody to harm you against your will or whatever, but it is okay for you to harm other people. They
okay?
can't do that, so that obliterates whatever kind of framework they're trying to go with here.
I mean, sure they can. Like before I give you an example that
What's
they
the
can say,
logical
right?
argument that it's okay for somebody to harm other people, but it's not okay for anybody to harm them?
Because someone could just say because I'm the best, so
That's
everyone is below me.
that is not a
So why?
logical argument.
So what would be your logical argument that it's wrong to harm anyone?
I would say it's wrong by definition. Like, why is a bachelor not married? Because they're not married. Boom, roasted.
Wait, so can't
Can
can't someone
can
just
a
say
bachelor be married?
wait?
No.
What's a bachelor? Again? English is not my
Bachelor
first language.
a bachelor is somebody who a man specifically who isn't married.
Okay, yeah. So, but how could you compare that with what you just said? You're saying harm is bad,
Yes.
right? So what
Yes.
if I tell you if someone's trying to hurt you, so you harm them back? Like I just contradicted it.
Self-defense is not. So again, harm was kind of a loaded term. I went over that
Okay.
earlier.
Yes.
Like, for
Yeah. Sure.
example, going to going to a chiropractor can hurt, but it can, like, or getting a massage maybe can hurt, but it can be overall good for your well-being. So self-defense is not a kind of. What you want to do is you want to ask the question, does this action stand in causal relation to something that is good? Somebody trying to
What
violate
is good?
what?
You said it has to be good. I'm asking what is good. Then you would have to
Good
define that
isn't
too.
something
Like,
good.
at the end, since we're not doing anything that's objective, everything is subjective. Someone could just as easily define good as what you define as bad.
They would absolutely I don't think you can logically or consistently do that at all, because then that person would have to commit to, like, our notions, our definitions, our intuitions, whatever, of what the good and what the bad is are selfishly applicable, but then they are empathetically applicable toward other people as well. And there is no logical argument you can give that it's okay for you to commit the things that you know and understand are the bad things, but it's not okay for anybody to do those things to you.